10 select appraisers that are part of our appraisal team that we rotate to. So we know the appraisals, it's the same ones, and on the Diamond Club team that Michelle and I are part of, we're very limited in the amount of appraisers we use. There's basically 10 people on the list, and some of those 10 are outside areas. So basically in the Valley and Ventura, there's about 6 to 8 guys we use, you know, pretty routinely. The only time we wouldn't use them is if some emergency came up and they weren't available and we had to pull somebody else off. But what that means is it's restricted us as a lender because we are absolutely prohibited from having any conversation with them about anything. We can't call them, we can't talk to them, we can't legally be told who the appraisal was assigned to. Now, we ultimately know who it's assigned to, and you're going to get the first call. But the only prohibition is the lender, not the realtor. The realtor is in no way prohibited from talking to the appraiser. Because Fannie Mae has clearly said in all of their guidelines, the whole theory here, if the appraiser is having difficulty or needs explanation of the property or wants some help with comps, he can by all means ask the realtor for help. Now, will they ever come to you and ask you for help? Of course they won't. But that doesn't stop you from when you get the call saying, do you need comps? Is there anything I can tell you about the property that you need? And Irma's suggestion is a great one, and I guarantee you it works. If there has been something unique done to the property, don't count on the appraiser listening to you when you're walking the property with you, because he isn't. So if you're telling about copper piping that was just installed or a new roof, I can guarantee you he's not paying any attention to what you're saying, because he's already come out there with a predetermined idea of what the comps are. Meaning before he even sees your property, he's pulling comps. Because he's got to drive those comps on the same day he sees the property. He's got to get the property and all the comps looked at the same time so he can finish the appraisal. So he's already sort of got an idea for what he's using. That's why I say if you wait to ask him for comps until you see him at the property, that's too late. So if you think it's a tricky property to comp and you want to get your 2 cents in there, get him in when he calls you to make the appointment, saying, I've got comps, would you like me to email them to you? Would you like me to give them to you over the phone? If you think comps are a key to making that appraisal work, get there right up front. Get the idea planted in his mind right up front. Or explain to him this is a very unique home in a tract, just like Irma was saying. Something that warns him that it's unique to the tract he's looking at, and don't count on pulling all the other comps from the tract. In other words, if he becomes sort of forewarned, he'll be a little more open-minded to what you're doing. And if there's been any major work done to the property, absolutely hand him a piece of paper that has everything written on it. I can't tell you how many times they'll just put that piece of paper in the appraisal. They won't even redo it. They'll take that piece of paper, if it's done professionally, listing what all has been done to the property, and include it as a page of the appraisal, and help justify them, you know, tweaking the value up a little more. It's very valuable. It really is, and especially on flips, short sales, you know, where the property might not have been neglected, because everybody sort of assumes that the property's been a little bit neglected on a short sale, you know, that the homeowners haven't maybe put anything into it because they're so underwater. So anything that you can do to explain something that isn't blatantly visible when you see the property, and that's really any of those hidden repairs that people have done.
Also additions, because
absolutely,
the appraisers don't know what that floor plan looked like.
Exactly, and if there's a discrepancy with public records, he's pulling up his comps based on what's public records. So if public records isn't showing an addition that was done umpteen years ago, tell him that up front, because now he's pulled comps for 1,200 square feet when the property might be 1,500 or 1,600 square feet. So now he's pissed off right from the start because nobody told him, and now he's got to go pull comps again and then go out and drive the property. So anything that you can tell him up front, don't hesitate to do that. There is absolutely nothing in the code that prohibits you from offering help to the realtor, offering comps, telling him what's been done to the property. You can talk to him, we can.
Brownie, I recently had a really tough appraisal in a tract, and it was model for model, and we were way over. And so I called all the pending
They really can't.
Even he said, that's really interesting.
It's interesting, and here's what they have to do. They have to use 3 closed sales, 1 pending.
Oh, they do, okay.
They're supposed to, but they can't always find a pending.
Okay.
And 1 or 2 listings. Now, will they weight the pendings and the listings in? Yes, but not as much as they will closed sales.
I think it really helped.
So
because
you're right.
especially right now when stuff is pending higher than what the closed are.
And that helps them justify that the market's improving, not stable. Because that little box on the appraisal means a whole lot. So if the appraiser checks off that the market is stable, that means the listings he's got in there are pretty much what, or I'm sorry, the sales